Hello, and welcome to High Performance Group Coaching. We're still in the declarations. Thank you so much for being here. Guess what? I got kind of demoted the Bose headphones, got some AirPods finally. They've changed my world dramatically. I've been coaching with these. They've been sounding great. My ears haven't been heating up. Been really enjoying the quality of the sound and just making sure I'm taking care of the beautiful people that we get to coach. That all being said, thanks so much for being here tonight, rocking it out. Let's go ahead and jump in, kind of lay the land out of exactly what we're going to talk about tonight. Session 35, Inspire Greatness. So here's how it works. We're going to go through, make sure there's no distractions. If you've got any beepers, buzzers, whatever that is, make sure you have that turned off so we can really dive deep together. Of course, take notes. Star any questions at the very end. You're going to have a link to get coached. And I've structured it that way so that we can really dive deep and help you and not degrade the quality of this experience either. So I want to make sure you'll see the link at the end to get coached. Go ahead and click on that. We will rock it out. Love this new format of what we're trying to accomplish to make sure you're totally taken care of. Rocking this out with you. Be open and vulnerable. Big part of this. Be real with the emotions that come up. Be real with what's showing up. Try expressing a little more. All these kind of things. Here's what we know about the people who inspire the most greatness. They're open, vulnerable, and really expressive. And I would dare say they speak sensorially too. Speak to the senses, emotions, what it feels like emotionally, smells like, tastes like, all these things. They got that all dialed in, and they really are able to express it in really powerful ways. I just want to make sure you're seeing the connection here as we lay the land for you on this beautiful topic. Inspiring greatness. Of course, make sure you participate. As you can imagine, you can inspire greatness by simply putting a comment in and sharing for others. You know what? Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm going after. Oh, I didn't think of that. Or here's a link that can help you with that particular issue or this particular thought. And that's the beauty of what we've created here in our mastery community. Really owning this for each other, helping each other down this line of just getting things dialed in for life, supporting each other, all these kind of things, which leads to the last item. Of course, we're all here for you. And make sure you know, if you need help right now, please reach out. We're doing our quarterly check-in calls, and I want to make sure I'm dialed in for you, taking care of you, really helping you down that path for you. Whatever that is, as we're going full guns. It's supporting others, helping the world, and yep, inspiring greatness too. So let's go over what high performance is, just kind of reseat ourselves in that conversation, big part of our process, making sure we're dialed in. So let's define it. It means succeeding beyond the standard norms consistently over the long term. And you may know that my word of the year is consistently. And I've been living into that in my social media posts since January 1. So when this is being filmed, July, that's been 6-7 months. Owning it, seeing a lot of result from that, which is really powerful, but also just being more consistent in my practices that keep this mind, body, soul clear, motivated, and positive towards taking care of me, taking care of you, and so many other beautiful people that we're honored to serve. So this is kind of how it all interconnects. Just want to make sure you're seeing that full connection. So I would love to know how you feel about how you've been doing at keeping things consistent in terms of these realms of well-being and positive relationships. So think about this year so far. If you were to rate yourself at how well you've been consistent at your well-being, 0, not at all, 10, owning it, what is that for you? What shows up for you? If it's below an 8, you probably know our process. You got to think about what's one thing you can do to level it up, not to 10 per se, just 1 point. In line of positive relationships, have you had to let go of any relationships? A few people I've been coaching have said, you know what, it's time for me to bring that relationship to a lower tier, maybe even close that relationship. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go out and create better relationships. I love the idea of what we teach in high performance, especially in the charge sessions where we talk about growth friends. They have conversations like, you know what, here's what I'm trying to do this week. Here's what I'm going after this year. Here's my goals, my aspirations, my ambitions. Not the kind of blame, excuse, denial, gossip conversation that so many others have seen. Here's life showing up, this sucks, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. So I want to question you right now, where are you at in line of these things? What's showing up? How have you been doing this year so far in positive relationships? 0, yeah, I'm around a lot of people that are dragging me down, and I might be dragging myself down. Positive relationship with myself. 2, 10. Not only do I have great people in my life, but we're constantly helping each other through life. Whether it's in our self-care, we have accountability, we're going to the gym together, whether it's in our family, friends, just hanging out, having good times, playing games, doing great things that we know we love, through our mission, through our contribution, spirit, all these kind of things. So whatever that is for you, my challenge for you is to document it and think about 1 or 2 ways you can level those up. Now let's talk a little bit about what it feels like to live in high performance. High performance is the ongoing feeling of full engagement, joy, and confidence that comes from, there's that C word again, consistently living from our best self. So if you haven't done this exercise yet, get out a piece of paper, put my best self, and just document the qualities, characteristics, traits of who you are at your very best. If you need some help there, sometimes it helps to start with my worst self and just kind of document, here's the things that are my worst self. Now, if I was to go back maybe 15 years, the worst self piece would start out with what I was eating, which was primarily beige foods. Was it 2 to 10 20-ounce Mountain Dews? Sodas that I was drinking a day? To think about that just blows my mind, especially when I think about the sugar involved in each of those drinks. My worst self was the way I had a temper, was negative. So pivoting each of those, if you think of those as individual items, what's my best self in terms of eating? What's my best self in terms of drinking liquids, not Mountain Dew? And then conversely, putting it in my best self. So we're thinking about, okay, well, I'm eating nutrient rich. What does that mean? Greens, veggies, fruit, nuts, lean proteins, drinking water, drinking organic coffee, drinking like cucumber, lemon-based drinks like hot water to really bring alkaline to the body, right? These are just some things that I want to get kind of stirred up as we get into this inspiring greatness. Because here's what I know. With everything I've shared so far, if you have a couple points of things you can dial up and you share that with others, don't you think that would inspire them? Maybe just a little bit? If you did it on a constant, enduring basis? What do you think about that? Pretty powerful when you get it, right? So incredibly honored to be on this journey with you. I've been thinking about this topic. You might have noticed this little apple on my shirt. We're going to talk about one of my stories in inspiring greatness and how I picked a really good role model, maybe somebody you've heard of, and we'll kind of dive deep on that. But that's the thing. Think about it right now. How are you inspiring greatness through just the frames of what we've talked about so far? Cool? All right. Let's celebrate our journey so far. On our journey, we've gone through the first sessions. We call those the core sessions. Clarity, energy, courage. And we went into the mastery work, psychology, physiology, productivity, persuasion mastery, purpose mastery. Then we stepped into the charge sessions, learning how to be fully alive and fulfilled. We talked about the drives like change, challenge, contribution, creative expression, caring, connection, consciousness, all these kinds of things to really stir up us taking care of those we care for and the world, and of course, ourselves too. You follow how this is all flowing? Now, just like curriculum in a school where we start elementary, we go to middle school, high school, college, doctorate. Now we're in the declaration sessions. And the last session was on one of my favorite topics, love. And today's session, as we know, is about inspiring greatness. So let's go ahead and kind of set the stage here for what we're trying to think through today. Our goal today is simply to identify what greatness means to you and how you could inspire others to live a life of greatness as well. Hope you've sensed how I've been teeing this up as we've been working into getting into the deep dive conversation in this session. How are you feeling so far? Would love to hear. Whether you email me or comment below, whatever that is for you, let us know how you're feeling about inspiring greatness. What have you done in the last week that's inspired others? Anything come to mind? Really, really critical when we think along these lines is like, you know what? I need to do a little more. Maybe more expressing, more communicating, like we talked about, open, vulnerable communication towards a better tomorrow and ambition, as we taught way back in the persuasion formula. The world's highest performers seek to hold high standards for themselves and others. So have you defined your standards, your values, your beliefs, the things that you will stay congruent with, your purpose? Tied those all together. Much of our work so far is guiding us to that end, to really go after these things. And I hope you're seeing how this all interconnects as we've gone from the core to the charge to now the declarations, that we've really been getting that creatively articulated, putting it down, journaling it, tuning it. It's kind of like a living document. What are my standards and how are they evolving? And we're owning that. Now, I like to do my work, as you probably know, in Evernote, that note-taking app that you can get to on your phone, on your iPad, on your computer, on the web. It's really, really critical, though, that you understand, for me, it's open journaling. It's really going after assuring that I'm updating and thinking about adding to, deleting. It's kind of a living document, as I mentioned. So I just want to make sure you kind of see the stage here as we're in the very advanced part of our journey, the declarations here. Trying to achieve your own sense of greatness and to inspire in others are important topics in high performance. So let's go over that one more time. I really want to make sure we dial that in as we step into our discussion today, and a little bit of storytelling too. Trying to achieve your own sense of greatness and to inspire in others are important topics in high performance. So break this down for you. Do you have a sense of greatness within you? Do you feel you're a wonderful, unique human being who's been blessed to be here, if you're lucky, to have all your fingers, your toes, full senses, to be blessed to be able to be in a world right now where it's easy to talk and share information with others in mass? And we have a choice to make as we do that, whether we're going to inspire others to be great or whether we're going to share stuff that's, maybe not so great. Whatever that is, we have that choice. And I want to make sure too that we're inspiring it in others, and we have that as a continual practice. So a lot of the work we do in our mastery community, especially in the business and internet mastery realm, is to assure we're using best practice in inspiring others to be better. Whether we're doing social media posts, videos, blog posts, offering things to the world that can help others from where they're at to where they might want to be. And they may not know where they want to be, as I've always said. So our job is to help them think 10 times bigger than what they're thinking on their own, to really go after greatness for them. And whatever that is in their context of life. Does that all make sense? Love the stuff. Love being here with you. So let's take a step back in time for a minute. Tell a little story here as we set the stage. It was the end of 2011 when Steve Jobs passed away. And the reason I'm wearing the shirt tonight is because of the guy who really inspired people to think bigger, to be more cognizant of humanity, to change the way we communicate. Some would say maybe not for the better when the iPhone was introduced, but I do feel that the iPhone, if used properly, and the smartphones of today versus 15 years ago, really do help the world be better if they're used for those ends. So a little side story for you. Are you using that beautiful piece of glass with a button, or if it doesn't have a button like the iPhone 10 or later, to contribute or to consume? And if you're consuming on it, are you learning or consuming things that are helping you learn how to inspire others? Or are you going down that downward spiral of distraction? So think about that for a minute as we talk about this next piece. So May 11th, 2012, I made kind of a pilgrimage after reading Steve Jobs' bio, which was amazing. Kind of noted all the places, the things that he did outside of his work and contribution to humanity. And I was able to go and walk down Waverly, I think it's Waverly Street in Palo Alto, to go to his house. And from the book, they show pictures of him in this room, I believe it is, doing the work to set the stage for the beautiful rebranding of the Macs in the zeros and so on, as he got brought back into Apple. When he started to talk through building this device, this piece of glass that would change the world, that you could use almost like Star Trek. And it all happened here. And I just showing you this gives me chills. There I was, standing there in front of the guy's house, in front of the actual place that the communication happened. That was the biggest pivotal change, in my opinion, since my beautiful time on the planet. like history in the making. And then I took the walk down Waverly, like they talk about in the book. Him and his wife would walk down Waverly when they would debut a new Apple product, including the new iPhone. And we went to the original, I don't know if this was the original, but it was the Palo Alto Apple store, where you'd see pictures of him in the book standing there looking at his devices and just being the consumer and seeing it. And just telling you this blows my mind, because I remember that pivotal trip to California for me was everything about shifting my perception of what am I doing to inspire greatness. And it was around that time that I discovered Brendon Burchard, our master coach in high performance. So I was like on this trajectory of inspire greatness from really powerful role models. And then I was diving into just the baby steps, dipping my toe in the pool of high performance, well before the certification program was even born. But just stepping into, what does this mean? What do I do? Psychology, physiology, productivity, persuasion, mastery, purpose, what? And it was because of these things that 3 months later, I had reached my goal of going below 200 pounds. So that was May 11, 2012. July 25th, 2012, the culmination of me picking good role models that inspire greatness in me, Brendon Burchard, Steve Jobs, a few others, and me putting in the effort with new ways of thinking really brought that reality. So I reached 199.3 on the scale, July 25th, 2012. And that was the first time in almost 20 years that I was below 200 pounds. And my job, I felt, was to keep it. So the reason I'm telling you this really clearly is this. It was because I picked good role models, positive role models, worked on the positive traits, qualities, characteristics, behaviors, habits. That was the pivot for everything for me. My dream, desire, goal for you is you feel the same. And I hope that I'm helping you down that path. I hope I'm a mentor for you in that way to really go after that, what we talk about in high performance, touching the rim of vibrance, zest, verve for life. You follow? Just take a minute. Let that sink in. All right, cool. That being said, you know what time it is. It's time for a high performance discussion. So let's kind of go down the path here and see how this works for you. You up for it? You're really ready to go? It's such an honor being here with you. Love this time where it's you and me on this journey to help you. But guess what? Being the coach, it helps me. Because a lot of times when I ask these questions, I got to assess myself to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You follow? Thank you so much. Shout out, tons of love and huge hugs to you, making sure you know you're loved, cared for, and I hope that I'm helping you inspire greatness in many ways. In life, maybe in business, online, whatever that is, to really share with the world good things on a consistent and enduring basis, as we talked about at the beginning of our time together. So the first question I have for you, if you could teach others how to achieve greatness in their lives, so this is exactly what I'm talking about. Think about this. If you could teach others how to achieve greatness in their lives, what 3 things would you tell them? Let's go over that one more time. If you could teach others how to achieve greatness in their lives, what 3 things would you tell them? This is crucial if you have any desire to go online and inspire greatness. Because if you write 3 things down, my challenge for you, if you're up for it, is to film a video or do a Facebook Live and share them. And just start it like this. Hey, I was in high performance coaching and I was challenged to think about 3 ways to help others achieve greatness in life. And this video, I just want to share 3 ideas for you to achieve greatness in life. ... You up for that challenge? Does that feel good for you? If you happen to have a business that helps others, like a lot of us are coaches, at the very end you can say, if you want help with these areas, comment below or reach out to me, private message me. Be happy to talk this through for you. Really powerful way to put goodwill in the world, but then also have a call to action that says, hey, you know what? I can help you get down this path if this is a desire for you and you feel like you need some help here. Simple, simple, simple sales. And it's not really sales. It's just educating them on how to buy. Does that all make sense? Thanks to Jeffrey Gitomer for that phrase. Love that guy. Thank you so much to Brendon Burchard for helping me get introduced to him back in 2012. at the 10X Wealth and Business event. Jeffrey spoke. I was like, this guy rocks. The Little Red Book of Sales, everything we just talked about, critical components to growing. If you have any desire to grow your business, to be an entrepreneur, it's that conversation consistently over the long term. Next, I'd like you to think about, are you living those three things to your fullest potential? So we're kind of flipping the script here. We're taking those three things you teach others and saying, are you living into those things to your fullest potential? What's showing up for you there? If you want to think of it this way, have those three things listed, put a checkbox in front of them. Am I living into this? Check. And then maybe rate yourself. How well am I living into this? 0, not at all, so there'd be no check. 10, deep, dark check. I'm owning it. And then I want you to take it a step further and think about, okay, if it's below, we'll just say an 8, what am I doing to level that up just 1? So what is that for you? What does that look like? What are you doing to just level that up just 1? In any of those areas. I would even challenge you to prioritize based on what you've shared. What are the areas that need the most work first? And maybe, if you want to take this and make it tactical, next week, I'm going to concentrate on one area. And here's the things I'm going to concentrate on, do, bring attention to. Week 2, I'm going to concentrate on the second area. Week 3, I'm going to concentrate on the third area. And you might schedule a weekly event in Google Calendar and Apple Calendar or whatever calendar you use to just remind you, this week it's about this. Today I'm doing these things or this thing to move this thing forward. So to inspire greatness in others as an entrepreneur, just to give you an illustration, you might say, you know what? One thing I'm doing is sharing good messages more frequently online. So this week, I'm going to make it a goal to share one thing per day, whether it's a video of me or a quote from somebody else that just puts goodwill in the world. So 7 full days of that. At the very end of that week, I'm going to measure it and see what the result was. How many likes, comments, messages, those kinds of things. Just try it for a week, 1 week. So I hope that kind of makes it real for you tactically in terms of how that can be approached. You see how the power of 3 things, reflecting on them, rating them, and then saying, let's go ahead and work on these things, how that tears down. That's the art and beauty of what we're doing together. I hope you sense it. And boy, that applies in so many areas. I love how this stuff scales. I love how this works. And I love seeing you live into more of your best self, your uniqueness, your strength, your creative expression. Cool. Thanks again for being here. I love this topic. I'm so excited we're on this journey together. Oh, I just can't thank you enough. It's so gold. If you were 90 years old, reflecting on your life so far, so let's go forward, 90 years old, unless you're 90 already, reflecting on your life so far, what specific achievements in life would make you feel like you've achieved greatness? This kind of comes from the Dan Sullivan question. Plant yourself in the future, looking back, and then kind of reverse engineering. What did I do to get there? So let me go over this. This is a pretty deep and heavy exercise. If you were 90 years old reflecting on your life so far, what specific achievements in life would make you feel like you've achieved greatness? And you can put numbers to that and say, I would be multi-million-dollar through putting goodwill in the world. I'd have multi-millions. You could say, I have a great family that's well-connected. And we have engaging, even at this stage of my life, engaging, heartfelt conversations that are generally positive. Acknowledging that there's struggles and challenges in life, but we're working this from a positive perspective. Owning that. What excuses do you find yourself making, if any, that prevent you from progressing towards those achievements faster? So I'm going to break that one down again for you. What excuses do you find yourself making, if any, that prevent you from progressing towards those achievements faster? So what is that for you? So often, this is where self-talk comes up. Like, for a while, when I was filming videos and doing that work, I was like, oh, I'm not sure. And I would let emotions derail the tactics of me doing it. Once I got in and go, I'm good. Especially now. But before, it was like, oh, the self-talk. Do I want to do this now? It's not going to make any difference, da-da-da-da. And then I just had to get over that. And I had to just, when that thought comes up, I take that emotion, bundle it up in my brain, and I just throw it over there, and I just do the tactic. So I hope that helps. Get your notes out, or if you already have your notes out. If emotions come up and they're not helping me progress, bundle them up, put them in a ball, throw them over there, and do the tactic. Just do the tactic. That's the thing that has propelled, I think, one of the main things that has propelled my success in the work that we do in our mastery community and the work that I do in other areas, and it's given me much more freedom in life because I get this stuff done and own it. You follow? So what is it for you though? Is there any self-talk? Any specific things that are derailing you from getting progress in what you want to achieve? Anything there for you? Keep in mind, if something's coming up for you and you're seeing it hinder your progress over time, that's a perfect topic for our check-in calls to assure that we're taking care of each other and really owning this. You know? So many times it's like, oh, I keep thinking this thing come up. And all you need is for you to send me an email every day for a week saying, Char, I've moved forward on these goals. Here's what I'm accountable to you for. And I'm totally open to do that. We've been doing that with a couple members in our beautiful community. And it's progressed their progress so fast. They're reporting with specific metrics we've agreed on, and they're like, gotta do it. And they don't want to come to the table and send me an email without having forward movement in those areas. You follow? So if that would help you, let me know. I'm here for you. Would love to do that with you. Would love to take care of you that way. So critically important. These little distinctions, these little accountability clips, these little emails that go out, play a game here to really help us progress and move forward. Love the work we're doing. Thank you so much for just giving me the opportunity to help you, because this is so exciting to me. This is living my purpose fully expressed by helping you with your purpose. Next up, if I spoke with the person closest to you in life, what would they say that makes you great? So what would the people closest to you say to me that makes you great? What are your strengths, your qualities, characteristics, traits, behaviors, habits, expressions? We talk a lot about facial expressions. We talk a lot about posture. We talk a lot about voice, tonality, energy, melody, pitch. What would they say makes you great? So many people have reported that in this particular question, they're like, you know what? People have told me they love my smile. People have told me they love how I approach eating. And when I get excited, you can see it in my eyes. And I get so inspired to bring such joy into things that otherwise they might not bring that joy. So they like the way I bring joy to whatever I'm doing. Some people have said they like the presence that I have in the world of being with my family, being with my kids. Because others have reported that when they're with family, they're more distracted with other things they're supposed to be doing, like work or whatever else that could be. They're just not in the moment. So they respect the presence, the engagement, the joy. Very much principles of high performance, right? So is there anything that comes up for you here? Would love for you to share. Comment below, pop me an email, whatever that is. If you're watching the replay, put it in the replay. That's cool too. Just share and make that real. How could you inspire greatness in someone in your life who seems to be struggling right now? So let's go over that one more time. How could you inspire greatness in someone in your life who seems to be struggling right now? So right now, my dad's been really just on the cusp of maybe not even being with us. He had been in the hospital for a couple weeks now, and he got out about a week ago. And the situation wasn't good. His kidneys below the level of how they can serve, so he's got to go on dialysis. He's taking some pills now to get rid of pneumonia, which are playing roles with his sugar. And the only thing I can do is call him, check in, and inspire him towards a vision of tomorrow. Because I know what his currency is, what his intrinsic and extrinsic values are. He loves to be in specific places like Disney, like Las Vegas, like on family trips and vacations. And fortunately, we've got a few of these things planned over the next year. And so my job is to inspire the greatness, is to help him see that light, to have something worth fighting for. And it's working really well. Or if you want to say, instead of fighting, something worth loving for. And it's been working out really, really well. And it's a big part of this journey. And I just want to make sure it's the little things. I watched the Brene Brown Netflix special recently. And what she talked about, and I don't know if I got the quote exactly right, but she said, when reflecting on your life, you'll find that the ordinary moments become those extraordinary moments. The time that you just spent sitting there reading next to your love. The time you spent hanging out with your family on vacation in the summers. Yeah, it just feels normal, ordinary moments. But when you reflect back on your life, those are the extraordinary moments. So what ordinary moments are happening right now that maybe you need to spend a little more time, presence, energy with that could be extraordinary? What can you do to bring more, we'll say greatness into those moments? More connection, more care, more compassion, more creative expression. I keep thinking when I say that, I think of that game Charades, where you have to draw stuff and look kind of like funny in front of your family, friends, whatever that is. Maybe you need to have more of that in your life. Does that make sense? Would that be helpful? What does that look like for you? Is there anything specifically that you need to do in the next day, week, month to live into this guy? Inspire greatness in someone in your life who seems to be struggling right now. Whether it's a phone call, a text, taking them out to someplace they love, assuming you know what they love. My challenge for you, as we talked way back in Persuasion Mastery about the idea of extrinsic and intrinsic values, my challenge for you is to really think about and own the fact of what people's values are, what they love. Like, do they love walking in the park and having a good conversation? Do they love chilling out at a bar having a cocktail? Do they love going to a certain type of food place? Like for me, as you probably know, Italian food, lasagna, owning that. Not too often, once every couple months. But that is the magic in owning that. Maybe it's just that conversation. Hey, you know what? I know it seems like you're struggling a little bit. And I just need to know, is there anything I can do to help or support you? You want me to come pick you up and take you out somewhere? And if so, where do you want to go? You want me to surprise you? So I just want to make sure you're getting the full illustration here as we talk this through. So I'd love for you to think about this for just a minute. Go ahead, take a break. Think about who it is that you need to inspire greatness in that might be struggling right now. Anybody come to mind? You know what time it is. It's time to take decisive action. So whatever that action is, my challenge for you is to put it in play. Maybe the moment this session's done, maybe tomorrow, but do it soon and really move this needle forward. Follow? So excited for you. I hope you feel where this is going. What values or standards would you like to focus on exemplifying over the next 4 weeks? This kind of comes back to the whole conversation we've been talking about. To be of greatness and inspire others, we have certain qualities, characteristics, traits, values, standards. So maybe you have that list, or you brainstorm that list, or you need to brainstorm that list, and maybe you pick 3. Circle them. Over the next 4 weeks, these are the values. These are the standards that I'm going to exemplify. So as an illustration for you, when I've worked this through with some people that I coach, they've shared things like, you know what? I need to be much more present, caring, and compassionate in my relationships with those closest to me that I'm around the most when I'm at home. And then we talked about how that works, and we kind of role-played that. So if that's something for you, that might be a challenge for you. But I would challenge you to think about those values, standards, qualities, characteristics, traits, behaviors, those kind of things. And just maybe compartmentalize in the different aspects of life. Like when I'm at home, when I'm with myself, when I'm at work, when I'm with my team, when I'm at church or in my volunteer work, when I'm really living into my best self in my hobbies, when I'm meditating, when I'm just walking the beach, if you happen to have a beach, like I do. Just walking the beach, putting goodwill in the world, smiling at people as I walk by. Does it come together for you? I hope this helps. I hope you're seeing how this totally builds the case for you to inspire even more greatness. So let me give you an illustration. If I'm walking the beach and I'm stepping through beautiful seashells, just enjoying the scene, soothing my soul. And I see somebody, I'll smile and wave, hey, good to see you. And they're like, good to see you. That's totally cool. But it's the smile and the wave. And it's that one smile sometimes that makes somebody's day or pivots their mindset from neutral or negative to positive. Oh, there is good in the world, you know? And I recognize that. Another example is about a week ago, I was in the elevator, the high-rise condo I live in, and the elevator repair guy was in there. Now this ride is literally less than a minute long. It's pretty much up a few floors. And I get in and he's working and it was a hot summer day, right? And he says to me, hey, how you doing? And I said, I'm doing great. How are you? He goes, wow, for this big boy, it's kind of hot. Because he had kind of a belly, maybe 20, 30 pounds overweight. And I looked at him and I said, you know, would you believe that about 15 years ago, I was 270 pounds and this stuff completely destroyed me. And I just came in from a run. And I said, I'm just so happy to be able to share that with you. He goes, really? What did you change to take off the weight? And I told him I was at 195-ish. And he says, I said to him, I said, you know, I thought it was all about exercise, but what I found out was it was about what I was putting in here. And I said, I just had to go with the colorful foods. Spinach, kale, veggies, other veggies like peppers and stuff, nuts, lean protein like chicken, this kind of thing. And just stay away from the beige foods. And you can see his face pivot. Now keep in mind this was all in under a minute. And I said, I hope that helps. He goes, I'm going to make a change. Thanks for the inspiration. The door opened, I left. All inside of a minute. I haven't talked to him since. I haven't seen him at all. But do you think there was a positive impact? Did I inspire greatness there? I believe I did, and I believe I was living purposefully. But the only reason that conversation happened was because I was engaged, present. I was living into the values and standards that I've set to recognize where people are struggling or be the empathetic, just, hey, how are you doing? And really listen, and then take people and help them improve their life somehow. Every moment. But it requires, as we talk about in high performance, dialing in the physiology. Sleep, hydration, eating, exercise, all these, the big four that really help us feel present and engaged. You follow? Just telling you that story makes me feel so incredibly good about the impact. Whether or not he does anything, just the fact that he got clear on, wow, this guy created results, doesn't feel the heat as much as I do, because I just came in from a run actually, and gave me these tactics to go after. Dang. So whether he does it or not my team. I just planted good seeds. That was my goal, one of my values, plant good seeds. So what is that for you? What opportunities in the last week or month, or you've just kind of stayed quiet, maybe heard some things you could have added value that you didn't express yourself, didn't share, didn't ask a good question? Is there anything for you there? Would love to know. And if you need practice with this, that's what we're here for. Role play, to own that conversation, to really crush that for you. I hope you know, and I hope you feel that support, love, care, compassion for you on your journey. Really critical when we think about this. So what came up for you here? What value, standards, maybe through some of the illustrations I gave, are you really going after to focus on exemplifying over the next 4 weeks? And my challenge for you would be to just pick three. Pick three and maybe schedule them. This week I'm going to focus on this value or standard. This week I'm going to focus on this one I'm going to focus on this one. And then maybe the fourth week you assess those three and say, you know what, I need to do more work on this one, and make that week 4. I love to break things down in simple tasks or simple focal points. Kind of like they teach, Gary Keller teaches in the One Thing, that powerful book. Let's just focus on this and getting masterful here for a while. Then we'll step into the next one. And boy, does that reduce overwhelm, increase clarity, and increase the chance of people taking action. So that all being said, anything come up for you here that you need help with, support, distinction, want to talk out, pop a note or send me an email. We'll make sure we dial that in for you. So today's very powerful session work is really going to help you dive deep. So let's kind of walk through what this is for you. It's already available in the system, so you can go ahead and get it. If you want to follow along, go ahead and click over to our portal, get into the library, go down to high performance, the declaration sessions. You'll see session, I think this is session 11 in the declarations, Inspire Greatness. And here's the 9 virtues of greatness. Here's the concept. What virtues have philosophers and historians claimed to have helped notable figures in the past achieve greatness, Brendan's research found the following 9 virtues. Use these activities below to help you examine how you can live an even more free and happy life. Print this page and use a journal for any additional space for your responses. What I like to do as my personal practice is copy these questions into Evernote, and then I have all the room in the world that I need. Some people, they prefer notes or OneNote or Pages or Word, whatever that is, or our paper. That's cool too. But just make sure you really own this exercise. The 9 virtues of greatness. They are honesty, responsibility, intelligence, excellence, courage, respect, vigilance, service, unity. What could you do to improve in each of these areas and also help others improve? So here's the first statement to think through. If I was going to achieve greatness in my life, I would have to start being more honest about ... Anything there for you? If I was going to achieve greatness in my life, I would have to demonstrate more responsibility, especially in the following area. And here's why. Third, if I was going to achieve greatness in my life, I would have to increase my intelligence, competence around this area. And here's why. Anything you're thinking through here? Keep in mind, go back to the charge sessions in our competence section to really understand skill stacking and setting 30-day learning goals, because that may help you actually actualize this piece. And when you do the why piece, to really give you the catalyst, maybe going back to those notes will help you get that emotional fuel, that emotional fire towards those ends. Number 4, if I was going to achieve greatness in my life, I'd have to reach a higher level of excellence in these activities or skills. Is there anything there where you're feeling like maybe I'm doing B or C grade work, but it could be B or A work? Anything that you really just need to focus on a little more, bring a little bit more, as we like to say in the work we do, world class to? Spend a little more time polishing it up, making it better. Any skills, activities, whatever that would be. That might be in line with the previous one, competence. Anything there for you? Oh, it's this goal, isn't it? If I was going to achieve greatness in my life, I'd have to demonstrate more courage by doing or being the following more often. This is the piece where we're really talking about our qualities, characteristics, behaviors, these kind of things, and being clear about who we are as our best self, and making sure that we're doing things to practice building that into our subconscious. So we're just that naturally over time. The habits that are required to make that just automatic. Does that make sense? To really own this. So what is it for you here? I would have to demonstrate more courage by being the following more often. Who do you have to be? What do you have to do? And if you need help there, go back to session 11 in the core sessions on purpose and reflect on your be and do parts of your purpose statement. That might give you a little bit of light, shine some light here on this topic. If you need even more help, go back to session 2 in the core and review your clarity chart, your self words, your interactive words, your success markers, and why those are important to you, because that really helps fill this in. So this is beauty, how we can go back and reflect on what we've written before and maybe update those things as well. Number 6, if I was going to achieve greatness in my life, I'd have to be more respectful of others and inspire more respect too by doing this. So, respect. What are you doing to be more respectful of others? Really powerful journaling. You sense how this is all coming together? Oh, this is gold. Number 7, if I was going to achieve more greatness in my life, I'd have to be more vigilant and paying attention to what matters and protecting my mindset by doing things like. And this is so critical. You may remember from way back in Psychology Mastery, I talked about the info identity loop and how when I got clear on being more vigilant about paying attention to what matters, I was looking at all the info that I was letting in and how it became and informed my identity and how my identity became and informed the info I put out. You follow? So if you want to think about it this way, if you have your notes out, draw an infinity symbol. And in this part, write the word info. And in this part, write the word identity. And what we're trying to accomplish here is the info piece is informing and becoming our identity. And conversely, our identity is informing and becoming the info we put in the world. And our job, if we're going to inspire greatness, is to be vigilant about what info we're letting in and what our identity is, our psychology, what our beliefs are, and what info we're putting out. You follow how this all is like a big circle? Like, bring energy in, put it out. Bring energy in, put it out. And it's a really critical part to high performance, is being vigilant about what we're letting ourselves consume, and so on. Total side note for you is, in order for me to recognize the real struggle of humanity, I follow a subreddit on reddit.com called Relationship Advice. And it informs me, and I'm vigilant about listening and being open to whatever shows up for them, because I've created a world now where I'm around people of positive energy, and that may not be reflective of what's really happening in the world, right? So I have to make sure that I'm dipping my toe in the struggle pool, as I call it, to really acknowledge where people are at in their journey, so that I have good illustration and I've got the latest data, if you will, on what people are really struggling with, and I'm vigilant about that. Paying attention to those things so that I can really be, in my opinion, more reflective of reality as a coach, trainer, teacher, consultant, all these kind of things. You follow how that can work? So I don't know if there's anything there for you, but I'd love for you to think about with what I've just said and this particular topic. What is that next step for you? What do you need to be learning about, reading, going after? And what do you need to be putting in the world, like in terms of info? And how is that all working for you? So gold. Next up, if I was going to achieve greatness in my life, I'd have to be even more service-driven to inspire others and help others. So the first things I could do to provide more service and care to others would include. So this is really about service-driven traits, qualities, characteristics. A lot of times in high performance, we reflect on servant leadership, helping others in these ways. So what are the specific things that you're doing or could do to really help others on this path? That's really where this goes, and I can't wait to hear what you think about when you do this. Number 9, and the final one, if I was going to achieve greatness in my life, I'd have to unite others, my family and those I lead, and the way I could start doing that better is to. So what are you doing? As we talked about, we teed this up through our journey tonight, to really own the conversation of connection, fun, expression, towards really creating memorable experiences, those ordinary moments when we look back that become extraordinary. Anything there for you? So that's the session work. And our next session, we're going to talk through one of my favorite topics. And this is something that is showing up in my high performance planner practically every day in the form of slow, thorough, deliberate. Really going after these kind of keywords to really enjoy the experience of my projects and what I'm doing. Being here with you in this moment. That's what our next topic is going to be. So that all being said, that is the end to inspire greatness. Now what I'd like to do is flip over and coach you. So let's go ahead and go to bit.ly/coachc2. Coach C2, all one word, all lowercase. I'll meet you there. We'll dive into coaching, taking care of you and making sure that if there's anything you want to role play or whatever that is for you, that we've got that dialed in. Know this too, my job on this beautiful planet is to help you live into those beautiful 5 Ps, to live more purposefully, more passionately, more enthusiasm, engagement, inspiring greatness in yourself and others, positively, along that same line, productively, going after our life's work, which hopefully if you're in the high performance world, you understand, and part of that is helping others improve their lives, while handling your responsibilities. And finally, profitably too. We do a lot of that work in our master community, as you know, so we're working that as we step into this part of the year. So I'll see you in just a little bit. bit.ly/coachc2. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.